Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rich Bradley, President of the Board of Public Service. And this is the June 8th, 2021 meeting of the Board of Public Service. We will start off today with letting number 8731 for the C9 garage demolition.
Rich, we have two that are not in the proper bid envelope. Do we just not open them?
I'm sorry?
We have two that are not in the proper bid envelope.
If they're not in the proper envelope, they don't, we cannot accept.
Okay.
I've never been here before.
All right. I'm gonna read the,
Can we go in there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to stay a little bit.
basement alternate and top.
President Bradley, this is Hayes. Are we being recorded yet?
Yes, we are.
Okay, never mind. Thank you.
Okay, we have 4 bids, but 2 of them were in the wrong envelopes. So I'm only gonna read the 2 that are in the correct envelopes.
Just read the two that were in the correct envelopes. That's correct.
So this is for C9 garage demolition at Cervantes Convention Center. First bid is for Schaefer Excavating Inc., SHAFER Excavating EXCAVATING Inc. And the total base bid amount is $1,939,800. 1,939,800. The alternate number 1 is 1,900,320. 109,320. Total base bid plus alternate 2,049,120. 2,049,120. The second bid is from Ranieri Construction LLC, RAINERI Construction LLC. The total base bid amount is $1,084,549.70. 1,084,549.70. The alternate number 1 is $192,240. 192,240. The total base bid plus the alternate number 1 is $1,276,789.70. 1,276,789.70.
Thank you. I'll let you get those people out in the hallway. And then if we could please get our applicant or conditional use holder in for today's hearing.
Hopefully I can let you know why your bid wasn't quite at that time.
Yeah.
One of the bidders?
No, sir.
Are you with the hearing?
I'm with St. Louis Development Corporation.
Okay, can we go on our way
Well,
up?
it said on the paper, the addendum, the utilization paper is turned in, and then
Do we have our conditional use holder in the room?
Yes, they're grabbing him now.
Or they're getting them now?
Yeah, yeah. I'm good.
Okay, so this works for you. And what is your name, sir?
Ron Salem.
It's Devon, is that right?
For this hearing today?
Yeah.
It's for Dutchtown
Ron
Market.
Salem?
Yes.
Yeah.
There were two.
You go ahead.
Okay. So you want to say that?
Yes,
To be correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Hearing number 128269-RH. Hearing number 128269-RH is being conducted pursuant to section 26.100.030 of the revised code of the city of St. Louis. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether to revoke the conditional use permit numbered as 128269 issued for Dutchtown Market LLC, CO Jobran Salem, to occupy 2821 Merrimack Street as a convenience store, subject to certain conditions. The parties have been notified of the violation of the conditions of this conditional use permit in writing by certified mail, along with the posted notice of today's hearing date. The hearing has been convened in order to address issues surrounding conditions number 2, number 5, number 6, and number 8 of the conditional use permit, and the conditions in question are as follows. Condition number 2, there shall be no sale of items that can be used or intended for use as drug paraphernalia as defined in ordinance 68404 or its successor ordinances, including but not limited to food scales, glass tubes, disposable lighters with pop-off tops, steel scrubbing pads and screens, rolling papers, ephedrine or pseudoephedrine, diet supplements, sleep aids, bath salts, or other substances for illegal drugs. In addition, there shall be no sale of cigars or cigarillos commonly used or adapted for use involving a controlled substance, examples of which include but are not limited to the following: Phillies, Dutch Masters, White Owl, Swisher Sweets, Splitterillos, Backwoods, Optimo, Garcia in Vega, and Game. Condition 5, the applicant must apply for and receive a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division before posting signage, and the signage must be professionally prepared and approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator before being installed. Condition number 6, there shall be no temporary signage on the premise or posted to the exterior of the windows or doors of the establishment at any given time. And condition number 8, all windows and doors must have no boards, mesh, grates, materials, or other coverings of any kind. Windows and doors may have proper blinds or curtains on the inside of the windows. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use holder will be given the opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocation, if any. The testimony today is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and your address and be sworn in as you testify. Please direct your comments to the board and not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of this board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on the hearing. The board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the city of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit numbered as 128269 issued to Dutchtown Market LLC, CO Jobran Salem to occupy 2821 Merrimack Street as a convenience store, subject to certain conditions. Item 3, a memorandum dated May 10th, 2021, from the zoning plan examiner to the zoning administrator stating that on May 10th, 2021, the zoning inspector found violations of conditions number 2, 5, 6, and 8 of the conditional use permit. The memo includes the photographs of the noted violations. Item 4, a letter dated May 13th, 2021, sent to Dutchtown Market LLC, CO Jobran Salem, 2821 Merrimack Street, from the zoning inspector warning of the violations of conditions number 2, 5, 6, and 8 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days date of the letter. Item 5, a letter dated May 13th, 2021, sent to Jobran Salem, CO Dutchtown Market LLC, at 1027 Century Oaks Drive, Unit O, from the zoning inspector, warning of the violations of conditions number 2, 5, 6, and 8 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days date of the letter. Item 6, a letter dated May 13th, 2021, sent to 2821 Merrimack LLC, 2821 Merrimack Street, from the zoning inspector, warning of the violations of conditions number 2, 5, 6, and 8 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days date of the letter. Item 7, a letter dated May 13th, 2021, sent to 2821 Merrimack LLC, CO Habib Mohammed at 905 Broadhurst Drive, from the zoning inspector, warning of the violations of the violations of conditions number 2, 5, 6, and 8 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days date of the letter. Item 8, a letter dated May 13th, 2021, sent to Rob A. Latifia at CO 2821 Merrimack LLC at 1750 South Brentwood Boulevard, Suite 295, from the zoning inspector, warning of the violations of the conditions number 2, 5, 6, and 8 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days date of the letter. Item 9, a copy of certified letters dated May 13th, 2021, sent to the conditional use permit holder and the property owner from the board secretary, providing notice for today's hearing. Item 10, a copy of the public notice posted for today's hearing. At this time, the board asked a representative of the zoning administrator to please come forward and be sworn in.
Hi, Terrell. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Terrell Island, zoning plan examiner for the city of St. Louis, and I am the one who conducted the investigation for this conditional use hearing and the violations that are in place. I did an investigation initially on May 10th, 2021, and I found as The president has already mentioned there was a violation in regard to the type of tobacco products they were selling. There was a violation in regard to the signs that were posted. There are no permits, of course, for many of the posters. There was a condition in regard to temporary signs. Of course, posters and such are temporary in nature. And then, of course, there was a grate or a gate, I should say, on the inside of the window. And I suppose they're using this for security purposes or so, but that is a condition that they can't have any boards, mesh, grates, or materials coverings of any kind in the interior of the window. So I did an investigation, a follow-up investigation on the 7th, which was just yesterday. And I did find that the applicant did make an effort to correct some of these issues. Now, in regard to the products that he was selling, the tobacco products, that hadn't changed. You know, there were still Swisher Sweets, White Owl, the cigarillos being sold behind the counter, as you can see in the pictures. In regard to number 5, the applicant must apply for and receive a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division before posting signage, and the signage must be professionally prepared and approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator. There were still posters in the window. He made an effort to take some of those posters down. There was a big advertisement of Pepsi, a sign really, really big in the window. He took part of that down, so it looks better, but there are still posters in the window. And then, of course, the posters are temporary signs, temporary in nature. So yes, he still is in violation of number 6, which says that there should be no temporary signage on the premises posted to the exterior or interior of windows or doors. And then finally, the gate that was inside of the window, that's still up. So there are, I guess, a little bit done to correct these violations, but for the most part, it looks like things are pretty much the same.
So I guess the first question I would start with is, your summation of your most recent inspection is the conditional use holder is still in violation of condition 2, 5, 6, and 8, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, even though they have made some strides, they still have violations in all 4 categories.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to open the floor up for questions for the zoning administrator from our board members. Okay. Seeing no questions, thank you very much. Appreciate it. At this time, if there's anyone else present who wishes to testify the noted conditions have not been complied with, please come forward and be sworn in.
Nobody else out there.
Nobody else? There's 3 here, so you're going to speak.
Of course,
Okay.
yeah. So
I
those,
gotta swear you in. Please raise your right hand. Please solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
yes,
Please state your name and address.
Jabron Salem,
Okay, so we are doing the conditional use permit holder. Is that correct, Ray?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no one else in support of the revocation. We've now sworn in the conditional use permit holder. Okay, you just introduced yourself. So please go ahead, sir, state your case.
State your case.
okay, those conditions right there, the one he status there, those were under the liquor license that we applied for back in 2020, that we never get approved for. Okay, for not selling Rillos and Swishers and any loose cigarettes. Those conditions fall under selling liquor. If I had liquor in a store, that's where I'm not supposed to sell those items. Okay, for the signs, for the Pepsi signs, we removed the sign. We couldn't put the signs up. We try to see how big, how it's gonna look, and the way the store is gonna look before we come and take the measurement from the city to see if it's good for the store, if it looked good for the storefront, we're gonna go for it. We received the letter saying you guys are not allowed to have the sign. We took the sign out, okay? And I couldn't hear him talking about the gate. Which gate is he talking about? Okay, that gate I'm gonna have to look in the data book inside the store, sir. I'm trying to boost my store security, where they walked in with $25,000 in cash and vandalized my store. I have my right to protect my store and my property. Other than that, I have nothing.
Okay, so let me just be really clear about this. So you have a conditional use permit, sir, from the city, from this board, because you are operating a business that is in an area that is zoned for something different than your business. When we give out this permit, we're very, very clear with what the requirements are, the conditions are that you must meet in order to operate that business, okay? And so those have been from day one when this permit was originally granted. My comment to you would be as follows, and I'm speaking as one member of the board, and I'm gonna open it up here in just a minute. I hear all your comments, but it is very cut and dry as follows. You either meet the conditions that we have laid out for you, you either talk to the zoning administrator's office and request a variance of those conditions and they get approved, or we have to revoke this permit. It is that simple. And so, my recommendation would be is you meet with the zoning administrator's representative, you make very clear what it is, an understanding of what you need to do to meet the conditions, or you take those conditions to the zoning administrator's office and request a variance or a waiver of those conditions. It's that simple. We don't have the right here, and we're not going to change these without the recommendation of the zoning administrator. And so you either have to meet these, get them changed, or we have to revoke your permit. That's simple.
I'm gonna go with the simplicity. I'm gonna go with whatever's on the paper.
Okay.
Yes, but quick question right now. Since I have the liquor license approved from the state and it's not approved from the city, I don't want the liquor no more in my store. I don't want that liquor license. Is there anything do I have to change?
So what I'm going to say about that is a conversation that needs to be held between zoning and it needs to be held between the excise commissioner. That's not something that's under the purview of this board. So I would say those conversations need to be held elsewhere.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm going to open the floor up for any of our other board directors who'd either like to ask questions or make any comments.
I would like to ask a question of the permit holder, that if we give you say 60 days to come into compliance or meet and alter your conditions of your permit, can you within 60 days be compliant with the permit?
Yes, sure. But right now, I wanna be clear about the gate. My gate is loose. I have a chain around that gate is on the one side of the building, on the side. I don't know if the inspector had any pictures to show you how the gate is closed. Okay, I went to a company, they wanted to charge me $10,000 for a new gate where they want to put it from outside, not the inside the store, because it's taking space from inside my store. So I'm trying to add more protection from the outside.
Okay, I understand that. And as the president says, your permit has some conditions. They can be modified or
Okay.
not. But in the end, in 60 days, if we give you 60 days, whatever they are at that time, you'll have to be in compliant with. I understand what you're saying about the gate and all, but if we do give you 60 days, whatever or is on the permit has to be, you have to be compliant with it, or we'll have no choice but to revoke your permit.
I think 60 days is more than enough for me.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Other comments or questions from any of our other directors? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. At this time, is there anyone else present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify? If so, please come forward and be sworn in.
Do you wish to testify?
In behalf of our community? In behalf of Joanne, Round Court.
Okay, your name, we have one.
Okay, let's
Starting
come over here.
Come in.
Let's switch spots. Yeah, you sit there. We can see on the camera. And then I need you to put your name and information here.
Yeah. See, she, I still still on the scene.
So,
My name is Josephine.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and
My name is Josephine Perkins. I am a neighborhood stabilizer. I have been working along with Jaron and that store for as long as since his father had it. I sat at the table with Jaron when we came in to have the liquor license. And there was not a clear, full understanding in regard to those signs. Because to the intake worker that I spoke with, he let it be known that there was a possibility that the signs may be a problem. Okay, and we left that store with, I left you all with that. We need our store. That store is all we have to service us from what, DeLord Spring or DeLord Grand or Grand and what, Gravois. They agree that as long as they keep the proper foods, the best service, clean up all the trash, make sure we don't have filth in the neighborhoods. They have done all of the above. Anything that they have to do, I'm 100% behind them and we will get her done. And you all have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments, and they are duly noted. I will say I definitely appreciate that. Obviously, this board likes to see businesses in the city. It's good for everyone. In the same token, we also ask that the businesses abide by the conditions that are.
Rules and orders is for everyone, and we will do that. We
Appreciate you.
also need protection around that corner so that we don't have these break-ins. We don't have all this drug activity on the alleys, in the front of the stores. And what I'm saying with our city, if you can see all of this inside the store, protect the store from the outside. And we're going to do the best we can to abide by the city's regulations.
Great. Thank you so much for your testimony today. I'm going to open the floor up for any of the other directors that have comments or questions. Okay, seeing none, thank you very much for your testimony today. The matter concerning hearing number
we have
128.
one more person who would like to speak.
We have one more person. Okay, thank you.
So, right now, this one, they're coming correct. The 60 days period right now, she gonna come talk to me about this now. Oh, that's fine.
Okay, so raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I will. Help me, God. Thank you.
Your name?
My name is Habib Ibrahim Mahmoud. I'm the landlord of the building, 2821 Merrick Street. And I own that building since 2007. And I upgrade that and I improve it and improve the neighborhood. We have the neighborhood and we serve the neighborhood the best we can. And during that time, we go through so many things and we improve it. And what's make me put that, Caesar gate is because in 1 month they break in 4 times. And I've been in this building for, a couple of times, and we discussed the situation, the security of that building. And because I can't every month, 4 times break into the building, I have to put some protection in the building. even with the Caesar gates on the building, they break in. They bring some, you know, but at least in the last so many years, at least prevent, you know, the break into the store. And the store is a beautiful store, is very helpful to the customer. Kids, they can walk in from different, you know, the neighborhood. We love the neighborhood, and I worked so many years over there. And I love my neighborhood. I love that neighborhood. I make my living. I support my kids, my family from there, and I appreciate that neighborhood for supporting me.
Right.
And you know, that gate is very, very important. It's very important. And we discussed that. We used to have bars in the windows. They said you take that and put something else. And I did. They come, they approve it, and they have no objection to that gate. And on the complaints, we're ready to improve, do the best we can for the neighborhood, for the security of the neighborhood, and we fully cooperate with the city. We appreciate the business being there, you know, and I appreciate the support of the other people. They testify over here, and we need your support too, to help us improve our business and help these guys, you know, improve the business over there and the neighborhood. And we're not asking for so much, you know. It's I mean, they do the best. It's, you know, kids, they can walk, grab candy, grab a gallon of milk. There's very important store in the neighborhood. We clean the parking, we keep it clean, we've improved the trash, we improve the sidewalk, we keep it clean, and you know, that's what we can do. And we will to work with you, you know, and you know, with everybody, with zoning, with everybody. I'm not, you know, I'm not interested in liquor, you know, from the beginning, you know, I don't want no liquor. I'm not asking for liquor. I'm improving to have nice store, better food, better service for the customers. And that's what I want. I wanted to keep them in business for so many years to come.
And give us quality food.
The best food in town, you know, I have,
Quality.
there's so many items in the field, you know, from A to Z, from eggs to steaks to whatever, you know, wraps. We delivery all kinds of, you know, all kind of companies.
And we need that store.
It's very important, you know, I have so many people, you know, in support of that store.
So thank you for your testimony today. I'll just
Yes, sir.
reiterate what I said before, just to make sure we're very clear. This board regulates conditional uses based on conditions that are established by the zoning administrator's office, recommended to the board and approved. If there is a condition or conditions on here that you think need to be changed, it is incumbent upon you to meet with the zoning administrator's office and have the zoning administrator recommend a waiver or a variance of a certain condition. And then the board will consider that. But at this moment in time, we hear you loud and clear. We thank you for your business in the city, but we have to weigh on the conditions at hand. So it sounds to me like you're very interested in working with us to get these matters resolved so that the store continues, because it's very viable in its neighborhood. So that's my takeaway. I'll open the floor up to other board directors who might have a comment or questions.
Yep, this is Greg Hayes, just a comment, kind of following up on a couple other directors' comments. It's, I have no questions, but 60 days was simply broached. No decision's been made. I think that was a great comment from one of the directors, but it sounds like, you know, three individuals here, hopefully trusting that you're making an earnest effort to get through this and make sure you're meeting the conditions. So it's just great to see you folks there and showing up. Some folks don't, you have. So I wish you the best of getting with the proper city agency staff to get these rectified. But whatever extension could possibly come up, no decision's been made. I would trust you to have ample time to do so if in fact that's.
We are family people. We are family people, you know, and we work hard to support our we get honest honest living. We are not here, no crooks, no drugs, no nothing. We just honest people working hard, making our lives, support our kids, our wives, our families, the best we can, and support our neighborhood too.
Your children went to school with our children.
My kids, they was 11 years old, they was in
That's right,
elementary school when I started business. Now they have kids now. I'm a grandpa.
in that neighborhood.
And
So
this beautiful lady over here I appreciate her, and she's the best, I have so many beautiful customers over here in my neighborhood.
We
So
need
I
our
love dearly.
store.
They
So-
stand with me, they support me, I support my kids, my family, and I pass it to my son-in-law, and they do the best they can.
That's right.
I appreciate and respect those comments. I really do. I do have a question now. Ma'am, who testified, did you say you're a neighborhood stabilization officer?
Well, yes,
Okay, you're employed by the city, correct?
No. I've been 50 years as a civil activist. I have been in this city hall doing things since my hair was black. I just left the inauguration praying for our new mayor. So I'm ordained by God to make sure we are protected and safe. I'm not legitimate, but I have got an organization, and the name of it is Save the Babies Coalition. I am state chartered. I've been in a state chartered organization since 2001, and I bring peace, tranquility, cleanliness in the neighborhoods. I stopped the drug houses. I just had a killing over in Pennsylvania, but I went and got that young man, so his family turned him in. So that's who I am, a person that's looking out for our community.
Absolutely. Thank you for that clarification. You said a title that sounded similar to a city job classification.
Since
So I'm glad,
2001.
right. I'm glad you clarified that. So thanks for the work you're doing out there. Appreciate it.
We do the best we can,
Right.
These kids, they work hard, they help the police, they work with the community, they work with everybody to improve the neighborhood.
Any other
And
questions?
we're willing to work with everybody in the city to improve that area, to improve the security, and we do everything that you are asking us to do.
No trash.
Sir, respectfully, I'd like to wrap up this hearing if I could, please. Are there any other questions from any of our other board directors at this moment?
To adjust the conditions on that, where should I go, sir?
You will need to speak with the zoning administrator's office. Terrell, I would ask if you would reach out to conditional use holder and help them however they need to receive help pending the outcome of our vote on this item.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions from our board members, is there anyone else present who's opposing this revocation that wishes to testify?
No, sir.
Seeing none, the matter concerning hearing number 128-269-RH is now closed and submitted. The board will now proceed with its regular agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Eccles,
Present.
Director Isom,
Present.
Director Hayes,
Present.
Director Russell,
Present.
Director Scobie,
Present.
Director Wilson,
Present.
and President Bradley.
Present. We have a quorum. I will now call this meeting to order.
For the President, recommendation that approval be given as follows. Resolution of the Board of Public Service extending the resolution suspending certain rules for selection committees for professional service agreements other than those established by ordinance number 64103 and to apply only to PSAs established by ordinance number 64102 as amended by ordinance number 65109. Preliminary approval for letting number 8726, Terminal 1 Concourse C Gate Electrification for C15 and C23 Phase 3 St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Amendment number 15 to the Facilities Management Division's contract number 68616 for building custodial services at the 1520 Market Building and other city-owned and operated buildings per prior amendments with White's Maintenance Service, extending the contract from June 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2021, and increasing the contract max not to exceed amount to $4 million. Supplement agreement number 3 to PSA number 1248, architectural and engineering services expansion and modernization of Cervantes Convention Center with Fentress Architects to modify the scope of work and is authorized by ordinance number 70883. From the Office of Special Events, request for the following to be approved with certain conditions. Special event VP parade on July 3rd, televised parade starting at Market and Broadway and proceeding west down Market. For President and Director of Streets, joint recommendation that the following be approved subject to certain conditions. Application number 129244, Pole Painting Plus Inc. and Dutchtown Community Improvement District request permission to refinish 40 to 30 feet metal Cobra head light poles. Poles will have all rust ground down to bare metal for a smooth and uniform transition, primed with 2-part Meproxy primer and top coated in Correctman HIS, a moisture cure urethane to ensure excellent gloss retention and long-term durability. Signs will be removed and reinstalled. All work and materials will be warranted by contractor for 2 years. Paint life expectancy is 10 to 15 years. Color is black for optimal coverage. The Director of Streets recommendation that approval be given as follows. 5 ordinance to conditionally vacate the following. Number 1, an irregular shaped portion of 12th Street considered as access right of way adjacent to 1204 through 06 Lynch. Number 2, an irregular shaped portion of McKissack beginning approximately 230.5 feet southeast of Humboldt Street. Number 3, the remaining 169 feet of the 15-foot wide east-west alley in City Block 901, beginning at 19th Street and continuing westwardly to its terminus and bounded by Olive Street, 19th Street, Pine Street, and 20th Street. Number 4 is First Street from Angelica Street southwardly, approximately 458.305, give or take 5.635 feet to its terminus. Number 5, the easternmost 8.52 feet of Water Street from East Davis northerly, approximately 143 feet. Application number 129242, an adjustment of common property line between 800 North 17th Street and 1701 Delmar Boulevard in City Block 541. Both parties are owned by 800 North 17th Street LLC. Application number 129243, lot consolidation of multiple lots along Elliott Avenue and Benton Street in City Block 2364. Application number 129177, request from Dick Gregory Associates LP to encroach with bollards to protect the building at 4651 Martin Luther King Drive. Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the board declare as an emergency action the following: asphalt paving along portions of Waterworks Road and Howard Bend Water Treatment Plant roadways. Directors of Public Utilities and Safety, joint recommendation that the following be approved subject to certain conditions. Application 129227, subdivision of 4432 and 4428 Laclede Avenue in City Block 3902. Joint recommendation of Directors of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation of 2 applications from AT&T be approved subject to certain conditions. Application number 127552, access existing manhole at the front of 5014 Christie and bore a 2-inch inner duct with cable west across Christie, then bore north along the west side of Christie to water box at 5003 Christie Avenue. Application number 127553, access existing manhole at the intersection of 11th Street and Spruce, 415 South 11th Street, and bore 2-inch inner duct with cable west, then north to 314 South Tucker Boulevard. Joint recommendation that 1 application from Charter be approved, subject to certain conditions. Application number 127554, starting at pole and alley behind 1008 Allen Avenue, bore east to existing Charter vault behind 930 Allen Avenue, then bore south across alley to 1001 Russell Boulevard. Joint recommendation that one application from Union Electric doing business as Ameren, Missouri be approved, subject to certain conditions. Application number 129217, install new conduit from existing service compartment E, east of North 17th Street and Pine Street. Connect to customer installed conduit on North 17th Street. Install new cable from existing service compartment east of North 17th Street and Pine Street to customer meter equipment on North 17th Street. And from the Director of Public Safety, we have 8 conditional use permits recommended with the conditions for 8 applications as follows.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Sylvia Boyd, Secretary Chief for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioners at today's meetings. Approval with conditions is recommended for 8 applications. First one, 4217 Blaine Avenue, contractor construction, officers only. Number 2, 4811 Delmar Boulevard, interior, exterior alterations per plans for adult education building. Number 3, 4101 Grand Boulevard, interior, exterior alterations per plans for daycare. Number 4, 3800 Watson Road, construct child care center. Number 5, 7315 South Broadway Street, event space, liquor, wine, slushy bar, no cooking. Number 6, 4285 Martin Luther King Drive, convenience store, sit down, carry out restaurant, sidewalk seating and packaged liquor. Number 7, 3151 through 53 Martinford Road, interior alterations for plans for restaurant. And number 8, 2605 Hampton Avenue, construct wooden deck over existing structure for restaurant. I request that these recommendations be approved as submitted.
Are there any questions on today's conditional uses from our board members?
Greg Hayes, motion to approve the conditional uses as submitted.
Wilson, second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Eccles?
Aye.
Director Isom?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Russell?
Aye.
Director Scobie?
Aye.
Director Wilson?
Aye.
President Bradley?
Aye, today's conditional uses are approved. Hearing numbered 128269-RH, Dutchtown Market LLC, Jobran Salem, bar 2821 Merrimack Street is a convenience store with cooking and full package liquor. So we heard from our representative of the zoning administrator's office about the conditions that were in violation. There were 4 original conditions. There are still 4 today, although some improvements have been made. We heard from our conditional use permit holder that they would work with the city to either correct their issues or amend the conditions. We heard from 2 others that were passionately in support of this business and opposed to the revocation. And so with that, I'd like to open the floor for any discussion from the board members.
I would be in favor of giving them 60 days to either come in compliance with the conditions as they are or get the conditions changed better to their liking or needs and come into compliance.
I second that.
Is that a motion, Director Scobie?
Yes, I'll move to table it for 60 days.
Director Hayes, do you second?
Yes, sir.
Hey, is there any further discussion from any of the other board members? Seeing none, can you call the roll, please?
Director Eccles?
Aye.
Director Isom?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Russell?
Aye.
Director Scobie?
Aye.
Director Wilson?
Aye.
President Bradley?
Aye, the hearing is tabled for 60 days. I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from last Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. Are there any questions or comments on the meeting minutes as presented? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, please.
So moved. Wilson moves to approve.
So I have a motion to approve from Dr. Eccles and a second from Director Wilson. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Eccles?
Aye.
Director Isom,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Russell,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Abstain.
Director Wilson,
Aye.
and President Bradley.
Aye, the minutes are approved. Today's agenda, questions or comments on our agenda today? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, please.
I move to approve today's agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Isom,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Russell,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Wilson,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, today's agenda is approved. Before we adjourn, are there any comments or any questions from any of our board directors? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved, Hayes.
Second Eccles.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Have a nice afternoon.
Thank you.
All right.